Rafael Espinoza versus Robeisy Ramirez to another rematch. Man, first fight was amazing, right? It had everything you wanted, right? The icing on the cake even is the underdog winning. Who doesn't like an underdog story? When I did the breakdown of this video the first time, man, I felt like Robeisy, with his experience, with his knowledge, he would be able to get the win. But I never said it was going to be an easy win because I didn't know much about Espinoza. But with his height and his reach and some of the tape that I've seen of him, I'm like, yo, this guy throws a lot of punches and he seems to have some skill. But I wasn't fully sold because you're never really sure until you're in a fight where you become sure of a fighter. But he was going to pose a threat. It was a step-up fight for him, so we were going to see. Both men were swinging shots early in the fight. Espinoza was throwing a whole lot of punches from different angles, but perhaps what I liked about it the most was he looked composed, never really overwhelmed. Moment didn't seem like it was too big for him. It looked like he had a game plan. It looked like he believed that he was going to win this fight. He wasn't intimidated by the two-time gold medalist. He wasn't intimidated by the champion, Robeisy Ramirez, right? He knew Robeisy was tough. He knew the task at hand, and he was ready for it. But here's when things changed for Espinoza, and he had to flip the script a little bit, right? Robeisy went to southpaw. And when he went to southpaw, he saw something Espinoza was doing, and he switched to southpaw and came with that right hand as Espinoza was trying to counter him, and he got caught with that right hand, and he hit the canvas, knocked down, tried to get back up, and when he got back up, his legs kind of folded a little bit, and he found himself on the ropes, and his legs buckled a little bit. It looked like it was going to be over for Rafael Espinoza. That shot Robeisy Ramirez landed was beautifully executed by the Olympic double gold medalist. But this is when I think Espinoza gained even more respect for those that didn't know him. He picked himself back up, finished the round, and came back the next round and came back throwing against Robeisy. Not worried about what happened in the last round, but came back with even more confidence, even more will, and kept throwing, right? Robeisy did catch him a couple times with the same similar shot, right? But Espinoza never fully let Robeisy get comfortable where he could finish what he started because Espinoza was throwing every single time that he found himself in trouble. That seemed to be part of his defense. Robeisy kept catching him, but Espinoza kept throwing and kept throwing and kept throwing, and he would get himself out of trouble. And I also think part of what kept Espinoza up as well too is just the will and the heart and the grit of wanting to be a champion, of wanting that respect from your peers and from the world. And so I think that's part of what kept him up and what kept him going, man, and he just willed himself to a victory. But overwhelmed Robeisy Ramirez, man. One thing I've heard from other people, and, are they saying Robeisy Ramirez doesn't do a whole lot of road work, right? Doesn't do a whole lot of conditioning training. And I hope that in the rematch, he has done some of that condition training because you know what is going to come your way. You know that you're fighting a guy who is heavy pressure, heavy volume, heavy work rate. Right? Espinoza threw over 100 punches in the last two rounds, if I remember correctly about the stats. Robeisy just couldn't take it anymore, right? He couldn't take it anymore. He was gassed out. He was tired. Espinoza came into that fight better conditioning, and he just waited till the right time, and he kept himself in the fight, and he kept punching, kept throwing, and kept willing himself, showed grit, showed his heart, showed his character, getting him off the canvas. And you can't even be mad at how that fight ended, right? All Robeisy needed to do was stay on his feet, and he would have won that fight. But the knockdown costed him that fight, especially in the last round. The optics didn't look good. But it was an exciting fight, man, and that's why this rematch is going to probably be better than the first, in my opinion. But since then, Robeisy came and found his way back in the win column, man, against Leon Benitez. a fight where he was supposed to look good, and he did look very good, stopping him with a vicious uppercut in that 7th round. Probably one of the meanest uppercuts that I've personally seen in my timeline of watching boxing. The sequence to execution was excellent, man. There's a lot at stake here for Robeisy, man. There's a lot at stake here for Robeisy. And he looks focused. He looks like he's ready to dial in, ready to get the opportunity to fight for that title again. Espinoza, in his last fight, pretty much picked up right where he left off, man, applying pressure against Sergio Chirano and stopped him in the 4th round after dropping him a couple times throughout that fight. You know, Chirano is a tough cat, but you can't be taking too many of those shots against a guy who is as confident right now as Espinoza. I also saw Espinoza do some things that I didn't think that he was able to do, man. Like, he was slipping shots and countering as well, too, with speed. You know, so that was a good performance for him, man. So, again, this is going to be an excellent rematch, 50-50 fight all over again. It's just the roles are reversed. In the first fight, Robeisy was the champ. Now, Espinoza is the champ, and there's always pressure with being the champ. So we're going to see how they handle this rematch and how it does unfold. So, who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. You know, I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/the breakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. You know, I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos and videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. I don't think the odds should be too crazy in this one either. One guy favoring the other. You would have to believe that Espinoza is the champ. He's already got the win over Robeisy Ramirez already, so he's going to be the favorite. I hope Robeisy comes into this fight better conditioned, as I mentioned, because he is going to need to be on his P's and Q's every single round. Can Espinoza wear down Robeisy Ramirez again for a second time, or will Robeisy Ramirez show better conditioning added with his boxing skill and his IQ to get the nod in this fight? I think Robeisy is fighting more of an uphill battle than Espinoza right now, because Espinoza already beat him once, and you would have to think, if I beat you once, I can beat you again. And his confidence is through the roof right now, and he had a lot of success in that first fight, so he's going to feel like he can do it again. To me, in the rematch, momentum is swinging heavier for Rafael Espinoza. You also can't count out Robeisy Ramirez. And I'm not ready to count him out just yet, man. I'm going with the underdog in this fight to win this fight by decision. If Robeisy is who he thinks that he is, he will come in better prepared in this second fight, and he will come in with a better execution in the second fight, and he will use those amateur pedigree, all those hundreds of fights, and he will use the experience to his advantage, and he'll be able to get the win. Whoever's going to come in better prepared and better adapt to what the game plan is for both and better conditioned, there's going to be a part. We're going to learn a lot about both of these guys all over again, man, but should be a 50-50 fight, man. Espinoza is a bad man. That's a bad man. So no doubt about that. Looking forward to seeing this one, but I'm going with the underdog, Robeisy Ramirez, to win this fight by decision. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. How do you think this one goes? Who do you have winning? Let me know in the comment section below. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.